Sometimes, life does not change because something loud happens. Sometimes, life changes quietly, when awareness arrives before the miracle itself. If you are here right now, it is not because you were searching for something dramatic. It is because something within you was already ready for a shift, even if you could not explain it in words. Change always begins this way, gently, internally, almost unnoticed at first. 2026 is not being spoken about as a year of miracles because of luck, coincidence, or sudden events. It is being spoken about because it represents alignment between what you have endured, what you have learned, and what you are finally prepared to receive. Nothing arrives before its time, and nothing meaningful arrives without preparation. For a long time, you have been moving forward while carrying silent questions inside you. Questions about direction, purpose, timing, and whether all your patience has truly meant something. These questions were not signs of doubt, they were signs of growth. Only a mind that is evolving asks deeper questions. What many people misunderstand about miracles is that they think miracles erase effort. In reality, miracles honor effort. They appear not to replace struggle, but to complete the lesson that struggle was teaching you. The reason 2026 feels different is not because the world will suddenly become easier. It feels different because you are different now. Your perception has matured, your awareness has deepened, and your inner noise has slowly begun to quiet. This is the state where meaningful change becomes possible. You may not see the full picture yet, and that is intentional. If everything were revealed at once, it would overwhelm rather than guide you. True transformation unfolds in layers, each layer appearing only when you are ready to understand it. Think about how many moments you survived that once felt impossible. Moments where you kept going without answers, reassurance, or validation. Those moments were not delays. They were preparation. Miracles do not always look like sudden gifts. Sometimes they look like clarity. Sometimes they look like the removal of confusion. Sometimes they look like the right opportunity appearing at the exact moment you stop forcing outcomes. 2026 carries a different energy because it responds to awareness rather than urgency. It does not reward rushing. It responds to calm focus, intentional choices, and trust in the process rather than control over it. If you have felt recently that certain thoughts keep returning, not loudly, but persistently, that is not random. Recurring thoughts are signals, not distractions. They are invitations to understand something instead of ignoring it. This is not a message asking you to fear the future or rush toward it. It is a reminder that the future responds best when you meet it with clarity instead of pressure. The most powerful decisions are not made in panic, they are made in stillness. As you move closer to 2026, your role is not to chase miracles. Your role is to become receptive to them. Receptivity begins when you stop doubting whether your journey has meaning and start recognizing how much it has already shaped you. You do not need to change who you are to receive what is coming. You only need to stop questioning whether you are worthy of it. Worthiness is not something you earn at the end, it is something you acknowledge along the way. This moment is not here to pressure you. It is here to ground you. To remind you that awareness today creates ease tomorrow, and calm understanding create space for real transformation. The shift that begins now will not demand your energy, it will organize it. It will not confuse you, it will simplify what truly matters. And it will not arrive loudly, it will arrive clearly. Take this moment as it is meant to be taken. Not rushed. Not feared. But understood. What you are experiencing right now is not confusion, even if it sometimes feels like it. It is transition. And transition always feels uncomfortable before it becomes clear. There is a quiet phase that comes before every meaningful shift in life, a phase where nothing dramatic happens on the outside, but everything is slowly rearranging on the inside. This phase often feels slow, uncertain, and strangely reflective. People in this phase question their past, their choices, and their future not because they are lost, but because they are preparing to move differently than before. You may have noticed that certain things no longer excite you the way they once did. Conversations, habits, or even goals that once felt important may now feel distant or incomplete. This is not loss of motivation. This is refinement. It is the natural shedding that happens when you are no longer meant to carry old versions of yourself forward. 2026 represents a threshold, not a reward. It is not arriving to fix everything instantly, but to meet you at the level of awareness you are developing now. The deeper your understanding becomes, the smoother this transition will feel. Resistance creates friction, but awareness creates flow. You were never meant to rush into your next chapter. Rushing would only repeat old cycles with new settings. This moment exists so you can pause long enough to recognize what you are truly ready for and what you are no longer willing to tolerate. One of the biggest signs that change is approaching is the urge to simplify. Simplify your thoughts. Simplify your expectations. Simplify your emotional reactions. When the mind becomes less cluttered, intuition becomes easier to hear. You might feel more drawn to silence lately, or to moments where you can reflect without distraction. This is not withdrawal from life. This is recalibration. Silence allows clarity to rise without force. There is also something important happening with your sense of identity. You are no longer defining yourself only by outcomes, achievements, or approval. You are beginning to understand yourself as someone who values alignment over appearance. This shift alone changes the direction of your future more than any external opportunity ever could. Many people misunderstand miracles because they expect them to arrive as sudden breakthroughs. But the most powerful miracles arrive as internal stability. When you are stable inside, the right circumstances naturally align outside. Think about how often in the past you wished things would change quickly. Now notice how you are becoming more patient, even if you did not consciously choose to be. Patience is not passive. It is a form of trust that develops when you know your effort is not being wasted. This period before 2026 is teaching you something essential. You do not need to chase what is meant for you. What is aligned will recognize you when you are ready. There may be moments where old fears attempt to resurface, not because they still control you, but because they are testing whether they still can. Awareness dissolves fear faster than resistance ever could. When you observe a fear without reacting to it, it loses its power. You are learning to respond instead of react. You are learning to pause instead of panic. These are not small changes. These are foundational shifts that determine the quality of what. You are learning the difference between protecting your peace and pleasing expectations. At this stage, life begins to communicate in patterns rather than events. Repeated thoughts, familiar emotions, and recurring reflections are not random. They are signals asking to be understood, not avoided. When you pause and listen instead of rushing forward, these signals slowly turn into guidance. One of the quiet miracles unfolding within you is emotional maturity. You are beginning to see situations for what they are, rather than what fear or hope once made them seem. This clarity does not come suddenly. It develops through moments of stillness, self-honesty, and emotional responsibility. You may feel moments of nostalgia without sadness, moments of reflection without regret. This shows healing. Healing is not about forgetting the past. It is about remembering it without pain. As you move closer to 2026, your relationship with time itself is changing. You are no longer obsessed with when everything will happen. Instead, you are becoming more aware of how you want to experience life when it does. This shift alone changes the quality of what enters your life. You are also learning something deeply important about trust. Not blind trust, but grounded trust. The kind that does not require constant reassurance, because it is rooted in self-awareness rather than external validation. There may be days where progress feels invisible. Nothing seems to move, yet something within you feels steadier. Those days matter more than dramatic ones. Stability is built quietly. You are beginning to understand that peace is not the absence of challenges, but the ability to remain centered while facing them. This understanding prepares you for blessings without overwhelming you. Notice how your reactions have softened. Situations that once triggered strong emotional responses now feel manageable. This is not emotional numbness. This is emotional intelligence developing naturally. Another sign of this phase is the release of urgency. You are no longer chasing outcomes with desperation. You are allowing life to unfold while staying engaged, not attached. This balance is rare, and it attracts experiences that align rather than disrupt. You are also becoming more comfortable with uncertainty. Not because you lack direction, but because you trust your ability to navigate whatever arises. Confidence at this level is quiet, steady, and deeply rooted. As 2026 approaches, opportunities will begin to resonate rather than impress. You will feel drawn toward what feels right instead of what looks impressive. This inner alignment prevents missteps and unnecessary detours. You are shedding old expectations, not because they failed, but because you outgrew them. Growth often feels like letting go before receiving something new. This phase is teaching you patience without stagnation, awareness without anxiety, and hope without attachment. These qualities shape a future that feels stable, fulfilling, and sustainable. Nothing about this transformation is rushed. Nothing about it is forced. It is unfolding at a pace that allows you to remain grounded while evolving. You are not preparing for miracles that overwhelm. You are preparing for miracles that integrate seamlessly into your life. What lies ahead does not require a different version of you. It requires the most honest version of you. And that is exactly who you are becoming. As this journey reaches its final movement, something within you has already shifted. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But deeply. You may not fully realize it yet, but the way you listen, the way you observe, and the way you understand life has matured. This is what true preparation looks like. Before visible miracles appear, inner alignment always comes first. You are no longer standing at the edge of change. You are standing inside it. And that is why things feel different now. At this stage, life begins to reward sincerity rather than effort. You do not need to push harder. You need to remain present, aware, and honest with yourself. What belongs to you is no longer delayed by confusion or inner resistance. You may notice that your intuition feels clearer. Decisions come with less noise. Answers arrive without struggle. This is not coincidence. This is clarity becoming your natural state. 2026 is not arriving to test you. It is arriving to work with you. The experiences ahead are designed to complement who you have become, not who you used to be. You are stepping into a season where lessons turn into understanding, and understanding turns into peace. Peace does not mean everything becomes perfect. It means you stop fighting yourself while life unfolds. One of the greatest miracles you are entering is emotional freedom. Freedom from old guilt. Freedom from constant self-doubt. Freedom from the need to control outcomes that were never meant to be controlled. This freedom allows space for joy to exist naturally. Not forced happiness. Not temporary excitement. But steady, grounded contentment. You are also learning the sacred balance between action and surrender. You take responsibility for what is yours, and you release what is not. This balance protects your energy and sharpens your focus. As the future opens, relationships will feel different too. Some will deepen effortlessly. Others may quietly fade. There is no loss in this, only alignment. You are no longer attracting people and situations that reflect your wounds. You are attracting those that reflect your growth. This phase teaches you something profound. You do not need to become someone new to receive something new. You only need to stop abandoning who you truly are. Moments of stillness will now feel powerful rather than empty. Silence will feel supportive rather than uncomfortable. These are signs that your inner world is no longer at war with itself. The miracles associated with 2026 will not feel sudden or shocking. They will feel right. They will feel earned through awareness, patience, and inner honesty. You are prepared to receive without fear, to grow without losing yourself, and to move forward without rushing. Nothing important is being withheld from you now. Everything is unfolding at the pace that allows you to remain whole. This message does not end with urgency. It ends with trust. Trust in your timing. Trust in your growth. Trust in the quiet strength that has carried you here. You are not waiting for life to begin. Life is already responding to you. And as this chapter closes, remember this one truth above all others. The calm you carry within you now is the foundation of every miracle ahead. If this message resonated with you, take a quiet moment and stay connected. Let this channel be a space where clarity, peace, and understanding continue to grow. Subscribe to receive more messages that support awareness and inner strength. And gently like this video so it can reach others who may need the same calm today.